This is the new 13-inch M4 MacBook Air in the stunning sky blue finish. And even though I also have the 14-inch M4 Max MacBook Pro, I find myself reaching for the MacBook Air more often lately, especially when I'm on the go. And what surprised me the most is that despite how thin and light this is, the compromise, for my use case at least, isn't that big between the two laptops. So in this video, I want to share with you 5 things that I absolutely love about the new M4 MacBook Air. Let's start with a quick spec rundown because this laptop has been out for a while. This MacBook Air is powered by Apple's new M4 chip, which brings faster performance and more efficient power usage. In fact, it's 2 times faster than the MacBook Air M1. In terms of memory, it's at 16GB, Apple's new base standard, but I did go for the 512GB of storage because I know I'll be editing a lot of large projects. Do note that the upgrade in storage also increases your GPU from 8 cores to 10 cores. Some other noteworthy upgrades on the inside is support for Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. Moving on to the display, it's a 13.6-inch LED backlit liquid retina panel with a maximum brightness of 500 nits. On the display, you also find a 12MP Full HD webcam with center stage and desk view support. And in case you're wondering, this is what the webcam looks and sounds like. It's actually not bad at all, especially if you have a good source of light in front of you. And yes, I'm actually holding the laptop right now. For playback, the quad speaker system will deliver everything you need from music to video calls. Port-wise, you get MagSafe 3 charging and 2 Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports on the left, and just a headphone jack on the right. The keyboard is Apple's familiar Magic Keyboard with Touch ID, and you get the same excellent Force Touch trackpad found on the Pro models. Honestly, this keyboard and trackpad combo is unbeatable in terms of ergonomics and productivity. Anyway, all this amazingness comes in a compact package that weighs only 1.2 kilograms. Now let's get into the 5 reasons why I'm obsessed with the 13-inch M4 MacBook Air, starting with portability. I've taken this MacBook Air on a few flights recently and the difference it makes is huge. It's noticeably thinner and lighter than my MacBook Pro. In fact, sometimes I don't even feel it in my backpack. Then I get that mini heart attack thinking that I didn't bring it or, God forbid, left it somewhere, only to find out it's there in my bag, just that it's super light. And the 13-inch display might seem small at first, but it's actually perfect in tight spaces like airplane tray tables or cramped work spots in cafes. I've actually tried replacing my travel setup with an iPad Pro, but the ergonomics is just not the same. On the lap, you can't beat a traditional laptop. Plus, you also get the full-size keyboard, larger trackpad, and proper multitasking capabilities. Next up is performance. This is a fanless design, which means it's completely silent, but it still holds its own in terms of power. I ran some benchmark tests and the numbers were genuinely impressive. Here's the results from Geekbench 6 on the CPU and GPU. And I also ran the Geekbench AI benchmark, and here's the results from the CPU, GPU, and Neural Engine. As you might have spotted earlier, I also ran Cinebench, and here are the numbers. Very impressive for a fanless laptop of this size. And for those wondering, during those stress tests, the laptop did get a little hot, especially in the center of the keyboard area, but that's expected. In real-world usage, things like email, photo edits, web browsing, and even 4K video editing, the temperature stays totally manageable. I was able to scrub through a 4K Final Cut Pro timeline with no hiccups, and while exports are a bit slower than my MacBook Pro, they're still fast for a machine of this size. Honestly, I only take this with me when I'm traveling, so the slower export times doesn't really bother me. I just press export, do something else, and it's always done by the time I get back. Gaming is also more than possible on this tiny machine. I ran everything from the latest heavy games such as Baldur's Gate, which by the way I'm absolutely hopeless at, to casual games such as my all-time favorite Stardew Valley. Everything played perfectly smooth even when on battery. Plus, with Apple Arcade, you can get extremely fun games such as Angry Birds and a handful of others for free. The last thing I want to touch on about performance is the external display support. If you're a multitasker, you'll be thrilled to know that the M4 MacBook Air can support up to 2 external 6K displays. I don't even have one 6K display, and I'm also kind of a one external display type of user, but it's great to know that you could hook up to 2 6K displays if you wanted to. Moving on, we have the battery life. Apple claims up to 18 hours of video playback and 15 hours of wireless web browsing. In my experience, I was getting around 10 to 12 hours of actual use, and that's with replying emails, web browsing, watching a few videos, and also, of course, a bit of video editing thrown in. Gaming does bring that number down a bit, but the fact that I can game on battery at all is a real step up compared to a lot of Windows laptops in this class. If you're someone who's always on the move, the battery life on the M4 MacBook Air will give you serious peace of mind. In fact, I've gone on overnight trips without needing to charge it at all. The fourth thing I love about this MacBook is the design. Apple's design language has always leaned towards minimalism, but this one feels particularly well balanced. It's clean, symmetrical, and just really well put together. The sky blue color is a nice touch. It's subtle enough to stay professional, but still different enough to feel fresh. Now, I will say I do miss having an SD card reader, especially coming from the MacBook Pro, and the display maxes out at 500 nits compared to the MacBook Pro's 1000 nits. But these are not deal breakers because I can just easily bring a USB-C dongle or find a more shaded area to get my work done. Finally, number 5, the user experience. This MacBook is already running the latest Mac OS Sequoia, which means that it comes with a ton of amazing features such as iPhone mirroring, window tiling, and of course, Apple Intelligence. iPhone mirroring has been one of those features that makes you wonder, why didn't it exist sooner? Being able to see and use your phone right from your Mac, including full screen control and drag and drop, is such a convenience. I don't have to physically reach out to my phone that often anymore and can stay focused on getting things done with the MacBook Air. I also use Apple Intelligence quite a bit, especially writing tools to proofread my text or rewrite it in a different tone. This is such a lifesaver because sometimes you just have a mental block from working on a piece for too long. Apple Intelligence is just a fresh pair of eyes I need to make sure that I can create my best piece. Siri has also been bumped up thanks to Apple Intelligence. Now you can ask it questions related to the OS, such as making the text bigger, and for more complicated questions, Siri can leverage the power of ChatGPT to get your answers. I use both Siri and ChatGPT quite a bit, so to have it integrated together is really cool. All these little things come together to make the Mac experience something that you just can't put a price on. And let's not forget, the M4 MacBook Air is the cheapest laptop from Apple, and you get the same amazing OS features and advanced Apple Intelligence capabilities from their top tier computers. Alright, let's wrap this up. The M4 MacBook Air is honestly kind of unbelievable. It's thin, light, completely silent, and yet it can handle real 4K editing, dual 6K displays, and a full day of work on battery. Apple even dropped the starting price by $100 and bumped up the base memory from 8 to 16 GB. Plus, with a student discount, you can pick up the base 13-inch model for just $899. If you're a student, a creative, or someone just looking for a light and powerful daily laptop, this is absolutely one of the easiest laptop recommendations I've ever had to give. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!